Okay, I want to talk about the situation that's, I guess, recently on people's mind about the comedian slash actress Monique and Netflix. Um, Netflix and no chill, I guess, for her situation. Basically, if I understand this correctly, she got offered $500,000 for her comedy special, stand-up comedy special, and she feels that she should get more. She was comparing the numbers for Amy Schumer and Chris Rock and the other comedians, and she wanted to know why, or they inquired why she did not get more money. And he basically told her this is what they can offer her, whatever. And I know that she hasn't been on the road, at least to my knowledge, doing stand up. I know she has a podcast where she sounds off on a lot of Hollywood elite and situations that she's been in, and people that crossed her or said something ratchet about her in the media. But at the end of the day, we all know that she has been blacklisted, and I don't think that she has, completely psychologically accepted the fact that she is still blacklisted, especially with everything that's going on with the Hollywood sexual harassment cases. Case in point, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but I'm mentioning it now. I always wondered what happened to actress Mira Sorvino. And I think the last film that I can remember her in was either Mimic or Replacement Killers. And I think that both happened after she had gotten her Oscar in the Woody Allen film, who he is now being persecuted, but that's a whole other story that I don't care to get into. And now we find out last month that Harvey Weinstein, Slimestein made advances on her. She didn't, fuck with him. And he basically told Peter Jackson and a few other directors to not work with her, and how she was a pain in the ass and difficult to work with. And with that being said, these are the same things that are probably going on behind the back of Monique. And I'm, sure that she should know about it by now. She has to come to the realization that she's on their shit list, and no matter how many Oscars she's won and this, that, and the third. I mean, quite honestly, the last time I saw her was in that mediocre Christmas film. I can't remember the name of it, with her, Danny Glover, J.B. Smoove, Kerry Hilson, and Gabrielle Union. I didn't really care for it. It wasn't very good, in my opinion. Prior to that, I think it was the Queen Latifah HBO film. I can't remember the name of it. And then prior to that, it was, I don't know if she was in Blackbird or if she just produced that film, Blackbird. Excuse me. But, she's been working like kind of sparingly, if you ask me. And it just leads me to wonder if her being blacklisted has her in a money situation. Because, you figure with most comics, when you get into a bad bind, you just go on the road and just go do stand-up. And, oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Of course, as soon as I get on the show, like, I start doing this, and now the yawns want to start. You figure that she just go on the road and, make up for any lost money doing that. But I haven't heard anything about her being on the road. And I'm also hearing from other comics saying, hey, we haven't heard from her in a couple of years. So for her to ask for this type of money from Netflix, is a little delirious as far as they're concerned. I think Tony Rock was one, and maybe Corey Holcomb had said something about that as well. But to compare yourself to these people, talk about Schumer, Rock, and Dave Chappelle. These are all very different situations because I've heard them say that Schumer's special wasn't that good, but because she had that movie that came out, Trainwreck, she was hot at the time, she was getting a lot of buzz. That's how she was able to maneuver and get that type of bread. Chris Rock, he still, last thing he did was top 5. He's known more for being a comedian than for being an actor. And even in top 5, he's, played an actor turned, a comedian turned actor. So that's what he's known for. So that's a different situation. I don't know how much he got. As far as Dave Chappelle, and I'll even throw in Louis C.K., because this is the direction that she should have gone in. But this what makes me wonder that, the money's low. Those two guys, they produced their own product and brought it to Netflix. I think that, Hollywood's, they're trying to ease their dick back into Dave Chappelle's ass very slowly. And I think, he's smarter than that. So, that 60 million, they would almost bend over backwards to, get that deal. And he did 4 specials. I didn't think the first 2 were that great, but the last 2 were fucking awesome. I don't think that, and I'm side noting here, I don't think that Chris Rock is going to be able to reach that, that level. But the good thing is that he's often admitted that Dave Chappelle is a better comic than he is. So, we shall see what we shall see, because I think it's his turn this year. Sorry, Louis C.K., again, he produced his own content, his own comedy specials, which means he came out of his own pocket, like Chappelle. And Louis C.K. also has his own website, or at least he did, where he was rolling out his own comedy specials on his site, and people would pay. So I don't understand why, Monique can't do the math on that. It's at the point now where, you have to level off and use a little bit more wisdom to, get this, to get what you want. You keep trying to fuck with these corporations, and you're going to just keep crying to the, to the choir, because it's kind of getting a little boring. It's like I understand her struggle and her fight, but at this point now, if you haven't fucking schemed out a plan B, you and your husband haven't schemed, and I say her husband because that's her manager, haven't schemed out a plan B, and all you guys now are just sounding off, on podcasts, it's just like whatever. You have guys that are fucking killing you on YouTube, with fucking channels and making millions of dollars, and you're sitting here wondering why you can't get this goddamn money. It's like right now, at this point, it's irrelevant. You know that you're not in their favor. You are at war with 3 of the black elitists, who are probably, probably shitting on you heavy. And, let's not play this fucking game. Roll in, roll your own dough if you have any left. Produce your own shit. Even fucking Kevin Hart produces his own stuff. Even back when he was, still coming up, he was producing, when he was slowly bubbling, doing a lot of specials, he was producing his own comedy specials, and then, cutting I think at one point he just basically cut a deal with Cold Black Entertainment at that point, and he was getting a serious cut from it. So, I have no idea, like, that Hollywood lifestyle, you gotta fucking get out of that shit. I guess just living there and just breathing, in that arrogance and ego of, shit that, people feel that they're entitled to, and go back to the humble beginnings, fucking, Rocky fucking 3 it, You know what I mean? You gotta go back, and get the eye of the tiger and stop fucking whining and complaining. Once again, I will say I know the cause that she's, going for, but at this point, her situation is different than what a Tiffany Haddish is going to go through, because if Tiffany Haddish drops one more hot fucking film, they're going to really put the screws in. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, she won the 500. Okay, yeah, we're going to give Tiffany 7 million just to make you mad, because that's just how the system goes. You fucking with the shit that they worship, and that is money. And, obviously, either you're worshiping that money too, or you, like I said, you have to go back to humble beginnings and remember like how you got here and just, put on your skips and fucking, start from scratch and, take on the comedy circuit, which is something that you should have never dropped, from the beginning, and, do the circuit and produce your own shit and put on your own fucking channel. I know Wanda Sykes says she went somewhere else. I say just produce your own fucking channel. It's cheaper. Also, on the flip side of that coin is, okay, so let's say now you go to blase blah, Redbox. Redbox now, they're going to start streaming shit, or Apple or Rock Nation, they're going to sign in to do a special and blah, 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 right? Now there's this fucking added pressure now because you fucking kicked and screamed and put this fucking thing on it. We need this boycott and blah, 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 blah. And then you do the special and it's just like, okay, so that's it. Where's the comedy? Like where's the jokes at? Oh, that was supposed to be comedy? Because now you really heightening your pressure right now. That's like if Eddie Murphy came back right now and was like, yo, you want me to come to Netflix? I need $75 million. And nobody ain't seen him fucking touch the mic in fucking years. And then all of a sudden he just does one comedy special. He thinks he's going to be a hit and it's fucking crickets. It's crickets. I mean, look, the reality is I saw something on fucking YouTube last year that actually pissed me off. It's fucking Martin Lawrence was on stage doing stand-up, and I thought he was fucking cool. And they were just fucking booing him, And that's just because this is just hater society that we're in. Boo, boo, boo. And I was like, yo, y'all just so fucked up because it's just not really coming from anywhere. They were booing him and fucking heckling him. And I thought he was, I thought he was pretty decent. He hadn't done stand-up in a while, but I thought the shit that he was saying was decent. So I just don't, it's just, you got to play to that, and you got to play to that pressure that she's building up on, especially when you haven't touched the mic in a while, and, the vibe of the audiences have changed, where they love to see you on top, and they love to push your ass back down to the bottom even faster these days. So, I don't know what to really, take other than what I just mentioned from the Monique thing. I wish her the best. I wish she would just really just come to grips that Hollywood is really not fucking with you. And you just need to keep producing your own content. Because basically, it's what Chappelle did. And I'm just going to single him out. They fucked with him. He's the one that told everybody what was going on. He said he took a break. He said, fuck that. Started producing his own shit. Everybody wanted to get back with him. And now he's back. So stop crying. Get in fucking line. You've already ran the system. You've seen the gamut of shit that they can do to you. You have what the corporations consider the highest level of achievement, that golden statue. And she also had a picture. Actually, no, it's not a picture. She did a fucking video. She did a video with her and her husband standing in front of all the awards and just rattling shit off, and then still trying to compare with people. And it's like, yo, those are fucking statues of plastic or whatever the fuck they're made out of. You can't, it's just like, look at my resume of work. And I go into some, Fortune 500 company and it's just a racist fucking company. And what am I going to do? go, well, look at my resume. Look at my resume. Your resume is not going to fucking beat racism. Your resume is not going to beat the system, being blacklisted or blackballed or whatever the fuck. If they don't want to fuck with you, they're not going to fuck with you until they're ready to fuck with you. And you have to show that there's another way for you to still get in, that you can still get in. And that's all I want to say about that. As I said, I wish her the best, and I wish she's just stop doing these fucking podcasts and, you know, rebuffing everybody's statements. Oh, Cheryl Underwood said this, and sister, you did it. Yo, just radio silence. Just fucking do you. The reason why I say shit like that, because one, you're wasting time trying to keep proving to everybody this, that, and the third, and this, that, and the third. Stop that fucking fight. Get back in the fucking booth and do what the fuck you do best. And you rise above all that shit. Because all those people that you feel that have offended you, there's going to come a time when, you know, shit is not going to be going well for them, because you know how this business is. It has its peaks and its valleys. Shit is not going to be going well, and they're going to be looking to you, and you're going to be the master and commander to decide what you want to do in that situation. You know, and the tides, can turn for her. So, you know, this is still the beginning of 2018. We're in January. It's time for you to fucking refocus and dust your fucking boots off and do what the fuck you gotta do. I also want to add, I was watching an interview with one of the owners or former owners of Roc-a-fella Records, Kareem Burke, on the show Drink Champs, if I didn't already mention that. And he was explaining that they had gotten rejected. I forgot the liquor brand and clothing brand. They were two, like, one is still around, one I'm not sure it's still around. I'm sorry. They drank so much of that liquor that they wanted to get some sort of sponsorship, and the liquor company turned them down, and hence they started their own brand of liquor, and they were hot at that point, so they were able to acquire wealth that way. When they went to the clothing line, the clothing brand was basically no. You know, we're kind of not sponsoring any hip-hop artists for our brand, because you used to rock that clothing line in most of their music videos and used to rhyme about it in their lyrics. And hence, they started Roc-a-wear. So I bring these little samples, and those are both successful businesses. Damn, I'm trying to remember the name of the liquor right now, but it's escaping. But we know, you know, those that are listening, you should be well aware of what Roc-a-wear is and how it helped further the wealth portal of that company, that brand, and those individuals. So I bring that up to say, if Netflix isn't playing the right way with Monique, you know, as I said earlier, you can build your own, you know, portal and stream, and all this stuff is available. But when, like I said, when you're living that lifestyle and you feel like, you know, you need to keep up, you know, with the corporate structure to play that game, you know, knowing that you're already not on their high priority list, then you're just running in a maze. You know, it's a pipe dream. Flip side of that coin is, you know, what happens if she takes that deal, right? And then they say, hey, you know what? I mean, because realistically, like, this is a way for her to get back into, you know, great favor within that, you know, corporate entity. I say corporate entertainment structure. Is you play the right way with them. You know, Monique plays the right way. She does her comedy special. You know, they have a good time doing it, whatever. There's no problems with Netflix. And I know that for years, Monique has been wanting to do the Hattie McDaniel biopic, and now they, you know, made a statement, you know, Variety or whatever, that there's another studio that's going to write a Hattie McDaniel film, and she was the first person I thought of because I know that that's the film that she wanted to do. I'm guessing they're probably going to get that girl from Orange is the New Black, Tasty. Can't remember her name right now. That's my guess, but that's far removed. She wanted to do Monique wanted to do the Hattie McDaniel film. You do this special with Netflix. It's a success. You don't kick up any dirt from the time you sign until now. Play the right way. And they say, hey, it was a great, Netflix says, hey, it was great working with her. She gave us no problems. She was not a headache. And now she's able to negotiate, hey, what about, my next project? How about, this Hattie McDaniel film? If we can, and she could have probably gotten that done by the end of this year. Let's say, she signs her Netflix deal. She goes, she gets, practice, does the comedy circuit really briefly. And she films her Netflix special in March or April, right? Because she might already have some things in the chamber. I don't know. I know it would be asinine for her, in my opinion, to sign a deal in 2018 and not have a comedy special until 2019. To me, that would be a foolish move. Hence, again, that's why it's better to create your own product, because Chappelle already had his in pocket. 4 of them already in pocket, or at least 2 of them already in pocket. So, okay, so now you film that early 2018, this year. You go back to negotiating table, you negotiate to do the Hattie McDaniel story, and you try to get that in production late this year. Now, I'm under the assumption that the research has already been done, because she's been talking about this project, I think, since she won the award for Precious. So that is, if not 10 years, close to 10 years, let's say, ago. So I'm assuming that the research is done. There should at least be a first draft script. If you don't have any of these things done, then why even mention it, as far as I'm concerned? Because once again, it's just an unprepared pipe dream. But anyway, let's say all these things are done. She has at least a first draft or a second draft done. She can go back to the table and go, hey, can we get some money to do this project? And while she's doing that, while she's prepping to go back to Netflix, you start gathering your stars or your talent. I shouldn't say stars. You start gathering your talent pool. Hey, look, this is what we got. 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 And you kind of start doing slow negotiations. Hey, if you're able to get this, I'll sign on. If you're able to get this, I sign on. These are just business tools that I know that you're supposed to do in the industry. You get those like recommendation letters that say, if you're able to produce this amount of money and the film gets off the ground, then I'd be willing to sign on to do this film at this particular point in time, or if my schedule allows. So these are the different things that are at play for those that may not be aware of the different avenues that she could have went down, but they chose not to, or they're unaware of what's really happening. And I'll just leave that at that.